Like, it's genuinely amazing tool, and wanted to make this before I make the repo public. Alright, so today is finally the day when I make the front-end repo for my SaaS public, and to be honest, it's really exciting for me because I am doing that for the very first time, and I really hope that I set up at least 50% in terms of all the documentation and explaining the idea and other stuff. But first we need to get a pill against parasite for our fluffy body mason, because it's especially important when it's getting warmer and warmer every day. So yeah, we are heading to vet clinic right now. And after that, I'm getting back home and trying to stay productive. And usually my most productive hours are in the morning. And as I needed to spend some time around the city, I don't want to waste any minutes longer. Therefore, I'm trying to not overcomplicate even my breakfast. And the best flow for myself would be doing an overnight oatmeal packed with creatine, scoop of protein, chia seeds, Greek yogurt, a little bit of milk, stir it and leave it in the fridge till morning. It's super easy to make, takes literally 5 minutes before bed. So the next day the only thing I need to do is heat it up a bit, put some berries or bananas, and it's done. Lately I'm trying to consume more high protein food and less junk one, and honestly this kind of breakfast makes life way easier. There is no decision making in the morning, no messing around, just eat and move on. This is usually a pretty solid breakfast, good protein, good fiber, and enough calories to actually keep me going for a while. Before I get to work, I really need to clean up my desk a bit, because if the desk is messy, my brain somehow gets messy too. I don't know, it just works like that. So yeah, declutter everything first and then give it a proper cleaning. It's a super small thing, but it makes the whole workspace feel way more nice to work at. If you're new here, my name is Igor and I'm building a modern and minimalistic URL shortener with focus on UX. And I'm open sourcing the front-end application for it. And before I open the repo for everyone, I want to polish everything and finish the very final things. And one of those was adding NPM workspaces to the project. Honestly, I didn't know much about it, but it turned out that it's exactly what I need. And just like with my SaaS UX, I want things to feel very smooth and low friction for you guys too. And yeah, I really love it. So the idea is basically to treat the whole repo like a single project instead of a bunch of separate ones. All the packages live together, share dependencies, and it just made the repo feel way more organized. So from root you can run npm install to install all the packages from both modules. And of course, from the same place you can do npm run dev, which will spin up both projects concurrently. It sounds like a tiny technical detail, but honestly it changes the whole vibe of the repo. It feels cleaner, easier to navigate, and just less annoying to work with. Also, I had to do a huge refactoring with Claude to make the code compliant to the coding guidelines that I basically added myself. And it was pretty cool to see how spaghetti code turns into something readable and maintainable. And of course, I wanted to make this before I make the repo public, because it would suck to work with the project in the state that it was before. I think I wouldn't want that, and I don't want that for you guys either. Claude generated exhaustive 12-step refactoring plan, and then I've executed it step by step. The biggest downside of the initial iteration was the fact that all the components were super huge, and there were a lot of code duplications and hard-coded colors, strings, numbers. So all of that that should be fixed, and Claude was able to identify the most of those issues and even more. All I needed is to come up with a pretty big prompt where I explain everything I want, and additionally I've put a reference for agents.md so it would know all the rules that I want to follow, all the coding guidelines, all the coding styles and other stuff. Like, it's one thing to say yeah, the code works, but it's a completely different thing to have the code that actually feels nice to read, easy to extend, and definitely not painful to touch later. I really wanted the project to feel like something I would be comfortable opening again in a few weeks without an immediate regret. And Claude helped a lot here. All I had to do is just go through all the changes for each step of the refactoring plan, review it, and accept everything or suggest some adjustments. And this part was honestly so satisfying. After I got some work done, I like to do a light 10 to 15 minutes workout. Like, nothing crazy, just some stretching, some mobility, just a few easy movements to wake up the body again. I need this so badly, especially in the second part of the day. Like, it's not always necessary, has to be a big intense session. Sometimes just moving and stretching a little bit is enough to reset the day and for sure to feel way less stiff. Honestly, I keep thinking about AI a lot because the developer experience is just insane right now. Like, it's genuinely amazing tool and it helps a lot with moving faster, organizing thoughts, refactoring, writing boring parts. It's one of those tools that makes you feel like you have more leverage than before. But at the same time, it's extremely important to not trust it blindly. You still need to review the code, understand what it generated, and actually know why and how something works. Otherwise, it's just way too easy to just let the agent do everything and end up with the code you barely understand. And that part I care about the most. Understanding each line, even learning from it sometimes, but definitely keeping my own judgment active. Because Gen AI is great, but it's still just a tool, and at the end of the day, you need to be the one who's steering it. For that, you need to have a better understanding of system design, architecture, coding patterns, so you could actually tell whether the output makes sense. Otherwise, you're just moving fast, but unfortunately in the wrong direction. So yeah, for me, the best use of AI is definitely not about delegating your thinking. And by the way, the link for the repo is already in the description, so go clone it, play with it, do whatever you want, and I'm really excited to see all your pull requests. Alright, time to log off.